Hey guys, I'm here to get into my 10 favorite scenes in the film Magnolia, which is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, released in 1999. And this is a film I've seen perhaps hundreds of times at this rate, along with There Will Be Blood and a lot of P.T. Anderson filmography. And this is just, I think, one that particularly just kind of stuns me upon every viewing. I think every time I rewatch this, I always catch more details, and I always find it means something more than I always expect it's going to. And that just keeps happening upon all my latest viewings of this. It's kind of always happened, since I first discovered and heard about all this. This has always been a lot of mystique value. When I first saw it, this is instantly to be one of the greatest films I'd ever seen. And these scenes, I just absolutely love the whole opening scene about coincidences, and it's just an incredible display of narration by Ricky Jay. You get all kinds of fast-paced sequences, which displays all kinds of surrealism in these scenarios. Just kind of it's just displaying coincidence from a very down-to-earth kind of perspective. And Paul Thomas Anderson instantly kind of just introduces this sort of manic sort of energy in that display. And then I just love the whole sequence of just characters being introduced. I feel like that's just a whole great montage sequence in general. Just kind of all the characters just ranging like William H. Macy, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore, Tom Cruise, John C. Reilly, Melora Walters, Philip Baker Hall, Jason Robards. Like just mesmerizing, kind of just how P.T. Anderson paces all this out. Like, it's kind of just stunning to me as a lot of those Altman ensemble dramas where it's just like, man, just the way that he weaves just, I don't know, just there's just a lot going on, but it's just the way P.T. Anderson makes it is just perfectly. I think he makes it on the perfect level of it, just accessible to get into all of it. Just how energetic it is. And then you got. I love the scene whenever John C. Reilly meets this character who kind of gives this rap about bringing the good Lord bringing the rain in, and it's like Reilly kind of seems a bit critical of the kid, but it turns out like the rapping actually kind of has a bit of a prophecy towards this entire story. And I absolutely love the long take in the studio, and the What Do We Kids Know show. And then there's just all kinds of, it's a rainy atmosphere. It's always raining in this film. And this is a scene that always displays it, even just like in the background, subtly like in the windows. And it's just following Michael Bowen, Jeremy Blackman, just kind of walking into the studio, and just kind of the day-to-day of just kind of setting up for showtime, you could say. Every scene with John C. Reilly and Melora Walters in the apartment. I absolutely love how it's kind of right on the perfect balance of charming and awkward at display. And it's just a sequence of Reilly telling Walters to turn down the music, and then they just kind of end up striking this really original kind of just chord from there. And then one of my all-time favorite sequences is when every character sings along to the song "Wise Up" by A Mean Man. This is just a wonderful moment of the film, which just displays kind of this looming feeling that the characters are all spiritually connected in a sense. Everyone's on their own kind of path, but I think from the film's angle, it's kind of implying that everyone is kind of a spiritually connected angle. Everyone's kind of facing their own sort of pain and torment, maybe trouble from their past, and this is a moment that reflects on the connection of other people. They all kind of just end up singing the song in harmony, which aligns kind of perfectly with their own stories and kind of where the art goes. Like I find that P.T. Anderson finds the humanity in all this. Like at first, like all the characters might, in their own way, seem like a little bit like overwhelming or jarring in a sense, but then you get to know him in the humanity. I think he finds the likability in about every character in all of this very successfully. And I think everyone can challenge everyone in a different way, but in the end, there's just a real great sense of deal of humanity being displayed here. Just the whole sequence of Tom Cruise melting down, because he's often a very challenging kind of character, but you really feel sympathy for him whenever you just understand it, kind of fully understand him through this art. And it's just, yeah, I love how all that's displayed. John C. Reilly and Walters on a date. It's a very charming sort of anxiety-inducing scenario. Then my all-time favorite project, so part of this is The Raining Frogs, which is just a magical moment of filmmaking downright. And this is what led me to watch this film in the first place, and it remains just the most stunning, transcendental moment of this entire project. As it feels like every character just kind of gets a glimpse of redemption in this moment. And then just the whole ending montage sequence. There's this perfect score and soundtrack by John Bryan, which just kind of gives me a Beach Boys sort of atmosphere, getting across the conclusion of every character. And then it just turns out to land on such a darkly whimsical note of redemption, which is just mesmerizing.